Dial. Big dog's taking care of business for a while. If you're listening to another station, I don't understand. 'Cause nobody does it like Thom Abraham.
Give us a call, Steve.
He's a northern-bred, southern-fed, slick-talking guy. Listeners in his posse are the junkyard dogs. The SEC from Tennessee to calling them hogs. From Gainesville up to Lexington to the Tide and Tiger Land. Nobody does it like Thom Abraham.
I guess I'm on here. Am I on? Can somebody respond?
It must be Wednesday. I called it hump day.
Yeah, baby. Uh-oh. Guess what day it is?
Hump day.
Guess what day it is?
Hump day.
Huh? Anybody? Mike. What day is it, Mike? Let's guess what today is.
Hump day. Yes, sir. It is Hump Day in the Doghouse. Welcome in on this Wednesday, featuring our first installment of Bubby's Diner Quiz Grizz, where one listener is going to get a chance to compete against Grizz in sports trivia. This week's topic is the Super Bowl. To win chow from Bubby's, I'll explain the rules. That's coming up a little bit later on. But basically, you're going to go head-to-head with Grizz. I am the moderator. It is multiple choice questions, okay? So it's not like you got to sit there and figure out, you're going to hear 4 choices of each question, answers for each question. And you're going to spell a menu item. The first one to spell a menu item off of the Bubby's menu that I select will win Bubby's Diner if you can beat Grizz. If Grizz wins, you win nothing. But we do carry over, okay, to the next week. So, in other words, this week you're paying for a $25 gift certificate to Bubby's Diner. When Grizz beats you into submission, hey, Grizz, you better not be throwing this thing. You better play honest. When Grizz beats you into submission, then next week they play for 50. And then Grizz wins again, they'll play for 75. Grizz knows no more than you do. He has not seen the test. He does not know the questions. He knows what you know, which is it's the Super Bowl. That's all. That's all he knows, is that it's something related to the Super Bowl. And you get like 3 seconds to answer each question. There's no cheating in this game. You do not get to use the World Wide Webs. All right? No interwebs in this deal. You just play it straight up. And if we catch you using the interwebs, it'll be an automatic on that particular question. So don't mess with me on this. All right. So 38-year-old LeBron James had 38 points last night to surpass Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's scoring record that stood for 38 years. And LeBron ended the night with 38,388 points. I like the numerology that's going on there. Oh, by the way, the Lakers, who entered the game one game back of even making that play-in tournament in the West, like the top 10 teams in the West, they entered that thing one game back. And they lost the home game to OKC, who they are battling for that final spot. And LeBron, who broke the record in the third quarter with his 36th point, only managed 2 points in the fourth quarter. But I guess none of that matters because he's now the scoring king. Now, naturally, the GOAT conversation is alive and well between James and Michael Jordan. Well, let me stop you right there. Because this record, much as it was for Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, the former Lew Cinder, is an accumulation award for a guy that has played 23 years. And yes, he did it in 150 less games than Jabbar. But did you know that he's played 338 more games than Michael Jordan? And yet Jordan is still fifth on the scoring list? In fact, if Jordan had played as many games as LeBron, Jordan would have 42,441 points. Basically, he'd have 4,000 more points than LeBron if he wanted to play for 23 years. Now, look, LeBron James has been great. I mean, there's no doubt he's an all-timer. He's an all-timer, but stop. He's not Mike. He's not Mike. And he does not possess the all-important clutch dream. I'm just telling you right now. Did I say dream or gene? The all-important clutch gene. Look, he's won the scoring title exactly once in his 23-year career. Mike did it 10 times in 15 years. 10. In those 1,400 games that LeBron James has played, he's had exactly 2 buzzer beaters in a regular season to win a game. Two. As many as Valley Equipments that we have in the region. Two. In 1,400 games. Jordan had 9 in 1,000 games, which is the most in NBA history, in 400 less games. And then there's the whole 6-0 in the finals thing with 6 finals MVPs. LeBron is 4-6 in the finals in 8 more seasons. And remember, Mike left in the middle of his prime, and then he retired when he was like 34. And he stays away for 3 years, and he comes back for a couple of years with the Wizards when he was in the front office. He was like the GM / small forward. The only guy that could do that. What are you? I'm the GM / small forward. I drafted the guys I'm playing with. Kwame Brown. Remember when he made Kwame Brown cry? Anybody old enough to remember that? When Kwame Brown needed to stay in college. He needed to go to Florida. So he gets drafted like right out of high, and Mike made him cry in practice. Didn't have that compete gene. Yet some still wrote, quote, "It was an extraordinary moment in the best career the NBA has ever seen."
Huh?
You can waste all the breath you want on the MJ LeBron debate, but Jordan doesn't really come close to James's statistical dominance. Close quote. That was Chris Branch from The Athletic. I'm not talking about some guy writing a blog in his basement. That was Chris Branch from The Athletic. Now, Chris is 32 years old. He's an LSU grad. All right? He basically was 5 years old when MJ won his last championship. He was 6 years old when Mike retired before coming back 4 years later with the Wizards. But sure, you go ahead and tell me about the best career the NBA has ever seen.
Get off my lawn.
He was 5 years old when MJ was winning championships. His 6th out of 6. But you tell me. David Moulton from the Monday Night Football crew will join us at the top of the one to get into the Super Bowl discussion, which Fox predicts will have the largest audience in Super Bowl history. Yeah. It's trending. They say it's going to go over the 117 million number. It's going to be the largest audience in Super Bowl history is what they think. I wonder how many Super Bowls David has worked when he was at Fox with Joe Buck and Troy Aikman. Of course, he moved to ESPN with Troy. I wonder how many he's worked. I wonder what his memories are from this. I can't wait to ask him. All right, phone lines are open, 256-576-4977. You can also text the show at 7329-TA-SHOW, 732-982-7469. By the way, I'm out to, let me just see. I'm out to Bo Estes, my NBA guy. And I had two 2 texts. Oh, they're both from my two have come in since the show started. Two from my second oldest daughter, Kristen, saying very blessed things about me. Appreciate her. She's such a sweet girl. All of them are. All my kids are great kids. Anyway, you can use the text window, 732-9TA-SHOW, 732-982-7469. You can use that 24/7. It's open throughout the show. We read those on the air. My personal Twitter feed is at Thom Abraham Show. The station's feed is at 97.7 ESPN. You can watch the show there as well as our Facebook page at 97.7 ESPN. The show is streaming live as well on WZZN TV, on Twitch, and on YouTube as well. And if you miss any of it, it's archived there. And it's on the Facebook. It's archived as well. Go to 977ESPN.com. Get links to all of that as well as the podcast versions of our show. And get the apps. You need the apps. You got to have the apps because you can listen live there. You get the podcast. You can find the links to Zone 2, 3, and 4 and to the Blitz because you're going to need it all. Tonight, for example, Alabama has Florida on air and on our primary stream while UAH hosts West Georgia on Zone 2. And the 7A area tournament from Huntsville High is on Zone 3. Zone 4 will have Alabama as well, while the Blitz has something called Joe and Amber from ESPN Radio. Never heard of them. Of course, in fairness, they probably never heard of me. Over in that little glass room with the slanted ceiling, playing the Platters That Matter and the Stacks of Wax, keeping us on the air. And to be honest, I was kind of up sick all night last night worrying about Quiz Grizz.
Who in the blue hell are you? What is your name? Detective. It doesn't matter what your name is.
I'm the producer of this show. If I didn't step up, you're nowhere. I put this thing together out of spit and polish.
I think this is one of the traits of a really good producer. Keep the talent happy.
I'm all jacked up on Mountain Dew.
Now, Tom. Hey, Tom.
Testosterone high today. Testosterone, whatever the it is.
It really doesn't matter what you think. It really doesn't matter what you say.
Any of you play sports?
Yeah, great. Are you okay? I mean, I know you've been throwing up since... you've kind of spitting up a little in your throat, a little bit worried.
No, it's just the weather. It's just the weather change. Nothing crazy.
Doesn't have anything to do with Quiz
No
Grizz.
butterflies.
I mean, you're not,
no
you're
butterflies
not
in my stomach. No nervousness. Not shaking. Nothing like that. Nothing.
You're not rattled at all.
No, I don't think so. No. Okay. Win or lose, I mean, I'm gonna play well. I'm gonna play well.
Okay.
I'm sure that
you're gonna play it straight, right?
What now?
You're gonna play it straight.
Oh yeah,
right?
definitely. Yeah, I don't have anything in front of me. I have the stream in front of me because I have to pay attention to that. But
But I mean, you're not gonna tank. You're not gonna.
No,
you can't be bought by a listener, right? I mean, a listener can't call you and say, "Hey, Grizz, if I win, I'll take you to Bubby's with my gift certificate." You're not gonna.
No deals in here.
Because if you need to go to Bubby's, I could probably take care of you. Just saying.
No. It's right down the street. Plus, I can walk there, and it's perfect.
Right.
It's perfect for me.
All right, tell you what, let's get a quick break in here, and we'll come back and open the phone lines. Mark is in Huntsville. He's up first. We'll talk to him, and then we'll get you set up. Quiz Grizz coming up bottom of the hour. It's Thom Abraham Show, 97.7 ESPN Zone.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Valley Equipment Rental has grown by leaps and bounds over the past year and is adding more and more equipment to their already impressive fleet. Valley is a locally owned family equipment rental business serving the entire Tennessee Valley. They concentrate on the local contractors, building repeat business and specializing in long-term rentals for their local contractors. The benefit of long-term rental is that they stay on top of their assets. If something you own goes down in the field, you have to stop and fix it before you can finish the job. With Valley Equipment Rental, they will fix it on site site or bring you another machine while that one's being fixed. More importantly, Valley is locally owned and operated, which means when you have an issue, you can get someone on it right away, right here in the Valley. Heck, ask for Ross Roberts, the owner, if you like. Try calling one of the big box national outlets and asking for the owner. That's if you can even get through the automation. Buy local. Buy Valley Equipment Rental. Valley Equipment Rental has 2 locations, one on the North and South Parkway. Learn more at valleyequipmentrents.com.
We love our pets, and when we need boarding or vet services, we want the best. That's why we chose Paradise Pet Resort and Spa. Everything our pets needed, all in one place. Boarding for both dogs and cats. Doggy daycare, grooming and spa services, web cameras, and top-notch vet care, too. It's a true Paradise Pet Resort for your furry friends, serving all of North Alabama. Find out everything you need to know and book services online at ParadisePetResortAndSpa.com. Located in Madison, just off 565 at Wall Triana, behind Cracker Barrel.
Here's Bobby White from Woody Anderson Ford on their service department.
President's Award winner 2 years in a row. That's only given to the top 10% of Ford dealers in customer satisfaction. So we're very proud of the service department. And our body shop. If you happen to get into an accident, which not a lot of people just want to go down and see a body shop, but if you get into an accident, award-winning body shop. We have state-of-the-art paint booths back there. They're waterborne paints that we use, friendly for the environment. We've got our production system, the way things are in and out. We have the fastest cycle rate in town of getting your vehicle in, getting your vehicle out, and assured that it's fixed right. We take pictures before it's wrecked, and not only after, but we take it as we're putting the parts on. All done to above industry standards. So I'm proud of our body shop too. Don't forget our parts department. So if you don't happen to need parts, performance parts, or just parts if you're a weekend mechanic.
Woody Anderson Ford, located at the corner of Jordan and Sparkman, as well as Hughes Road and Madison. You can also check out the great deals at WoodyAndersonFord.com. The college basketball regular season is winding down, and the football specials at Humphrey's Bar and Grill are now going to extend into basketball season with football specials during every Auburn and Alabama basketball games. Don't miss Humphrey's game day specials from $2.75 Miller Lite, Yingling, Coors Light pints, $3.50 Yellowhammer Gold pints. Anytime Auburn or Alabama is on the screen, Humphrey's, always a party, never a cover. Located online at Humphrey'sDowntown.com.
Suffering from emotional pain and mental health conditions, Intensive Outpatient Programs, or IOP, is a rich addition to your continued individual therapy. Group members realize they're not alone and that others have similar difficulties. Hearing and sharing different ways to think and cope can be encouraging, empowering, and promote healing. In most cases, treatment is covered by insurance and no doctor referral is needed. Virtual IOP sessions available. Take your first step to wellness by calling 205-999-5247 or log on IOPServicesLLC.com.
Isn't the story of the prodigal son an amazing story? Basically, a rowdy boy who literally wished his father dead ran away and consumed his wealth with hard and fast living. Yet the father looked for his return every day, and when the boy got tired of eating pig slop, he decided to return. What did the father do? As soon as he saw that boy, he ran to him, threw his arms around him, and killed the fatted calf for a great celebration. Hey, I'm John Dees, pastor of the Cross Point Church. If you're looking for a church home, come see us, smack dab across the street from the YMCA in Madison.
This is Eli Gold, voice of the Alabama Crimson Tide. Now more of the Thom Abraham Show on your home for Crimson Tide Sports 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Roll Tide.
Welcome back, Thom Abraham Show. Phone lines are open at 256-576-4977, 256-576-4977. Mark is in Huntsville. Mark, welcome to the show. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing well. Thanks for taking my call. Hey, I want to talk about the next starting quarterback in Alabama.
Okay.
Who will win the Heisman. And
the next starting quarterback at Alabama, and then you qualified it with who will win the Heisman, keeping in mind that only one in the history of Alabama has won the Heisman. You think that there is another that could win a Heisman. Okay, so go ahead.
Okay, now remember Jones could have won it, if it didn't have Devontae, on the team. So a little caveat there, and Tua probably should have won it. But anyway,
Although
right.
Jones might not have had the year that he had if he didn't have Devontae, like a double-edged sword.
I know. Hey, no, that was just sort of a tease there. I know a lot of people have got a lot of stock in Simpson. My question really is, and that was just sort of a tease there, on Milrose. I know for some reason there's not a lot of motion with him. But I look back at what he did, as a high school player, and we really haven't seen him play enough to really evaluate. Jalen Hurt came out, I don't know, maybe yesterday, and was quoted as saying that, of course he's not head coach, but he said that he felt that Milrose would fit the system better with a new offensive coordinator. I don't know if you got a chance to read that article, but anyway, Jalen, did this and did that. But my question is, if he's not the best quarterback, he's such a great athlete, and I'm not the coach of Alabama. Your thoughts on put Milrose at running back, tight end. He's 6'3", 220. He runs a 4.5 legit 40. Your thoughts on if he doesn't start, how do you keep an athlete like that on the bench?
Well, it's interesting. When you think about Blake Sims, right? He came to Alabama as a running back, right? And ended up a quarterback and had great success in that one big year under Lane Kiffin. Could Milroe move into a different position and be useful? First of all, I always find it, there is, by the way, a history of big quarterbacks who have become tight ends. That has happened many times. Thanks for the call, Mark. That has happened many times where guys that were quarterbacks in high school, especially, grew into tight ends in college and played very, very well. But when you talk about a quarterback being a tight end or being a wide receiver, first of all, we don't know that they can catch the ball a lick. Remember they talked about, Tim Tebow, maybe he should move to tight end in the NFL because he, had a hard time throwing in the ocean. Maybe he would be a better off as a tight end but Tim Tebow couldn't catch the ball very well. And so just because a guy is a great quarterback doesn't mean that he can necessarily catch the ball. Now, running back, that's another thing. Now you say, could he be a running back? Well, maybe. He got some pretty high-ranking running backs that are in that running back room already. But you would think that Milroe does most of his damage as a running quarterback from broken plays or as that extra guy. What's a running quarterback? Oh, he's a wildcat quarterback, right? That's all a running quarterback is. He's the guy you can't account for defensively. That's why Alabama has struggled over the years with good running quarterbacks, because schematically you ultimately do not account for, it gives you an extra blocker and you do not account for the quarterback. The question is that the kind of offense Alabama wants to run? When Jalen Hurts was at Alabama, he was not a real effective passer, obviously. He became a better passer at Oklahoma, and in his work in the offseason, he did some things well as a passer. I will tell you this, he was a better passer than Milroe is, in my opinion. Now, Milroe has a cannon for an arm, don't get me wrong. He could throw that thing out of the stadium. Problem is he could throw it out of the stadium on a 15-yard out. You look at Tua Tagovailoa as pretty a passer, as pure a passer. Nobody threw a slant better than Tua Tagovailoa that I ever saw, ever. RPO, slant, that kind of stuff. Never did I see. He was just as far as I'm concerned, the best passer, pure passer that we ever saw at Alabama. But he wasn't a bad runner. He just didn't do it a lot. He had mobility. He could move. He could take off if he needed to. Just didn't do it a lot. Who else was a decent runner is Bryce Young. Bryce Young, though, that wasn't his number one priority. But how many times did we see Bryce Young have great runs? Now, he's very slight, and if he does that in the NFL, he's going to get his knob oiled. So there are guys that can do multiple things. I don't know that Milroe is what they'll want to run, especially with Tommy Rees. Now, Nick Saban said that he wants to get back to having a little bit of a mobile quarterback. Well, all right. But who has won the Nick Saban national championships? Run the list. Mac Jones, Jake Coker, A.J. McCarron, Greg McElroy. Which one of those was a great runner? Greg McElroy, A.J. McCarron, Jake Coker, and Mac Jones.
Don't you disrespect Mac Jones' wheels.
Yeah.
Mac Jones had some wheels.
He got wheels, all right. Wheels like the Flintstones.
Flat-feeted.
Now, yes, Tua and Jalen combined for a championship. So they did win a championship on it. But again, those guys both, in the case of Tua, threw the ball very well. The reason Tua's in the game, 2nd and 26, the reason he's in that game is because Georgia had taken away Jalen Hurts as a runner and relegated him to the pocket. And he just couldn't get it done from the pocket. They took him away. I mean, you wonder, he was a freshman, but you wonder, no, he wasn't a freshman. His freshman year was the year that he had the 30-yard run up the gut against Clemson in Tampa to give them the lead, 31-28.
Yeah.
With 2 minutes to go in the game.
He don't play defense.
He don't play no defense. Killing me. So, but we don't know. We don't know who's going to be. We haven't seen a Blake Barnett come through there in a minute. So hopefully that's not going to happen. The Simpson kid has looked real good in practice, and we have not seen any of him in any real good time. I thought we saw enough of I think they can win with Milroe. I don't know if you can win a championship with him, but I'm not going to sit here and say you can't win with a kid. We saw him play his first significant action this year, and he did some things. It's a different kind of offense, but he did some really good things. But if you can box him in, can he win that game? He also, he throws the ball into the ground. He airmails people. I don't know if that's the offense that, under Tommy Rees, even though it'll have a lot of what Nick Saban wants to do offensively, I don't know if that's what they'll do. But, the next kid's coming in, Eli Holstein. Maybe it's Eli Holstein. Who knows? Yeah, we don't know if there is a Blake Barnett coming down the pike here. That's what we don't know. Now, let me get Philip in here quick. Philip, welcome to the show. How are you?
Fair to middle. Can't complain. Don't do no good if I do.
Yeah.
So, is there a line on, will this be the most watched Super Bowl all time?
I don't know if there's a betting line on it, but it is. Fox is saying that they anticipated having the biggest audience ever.
Has there ever been a Super Bowl that didn't have the biggest audience ever?
Yeah. Actually, they went down for about 5 years, and last year was the first one that came back up. In 5 years, they had declining numbers, and then it shot back up last year.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
The most watched Super Bowl ever. Let's see, most watched Super Bowl. Remember, we used to not get, hammered with all of this. The most watched Super Bowl ever was 2015, the Patriots against the Seahawks. And that game had 115 million. That's the most watched Super Bowl in the history of the Super Bowl.
Wow.
And we were down to last year. I'll tell you, the Tampa Bay, Kansas City Super Bowl with the GOAT in there, right? Tampa Bay and Kansas City, you would think you had, but that was the COVID year. That was after the COVID season. Tampa Bay, Kansas City had 95 million. It's 20 million less people than in 2015. Last year, it went up to 99 million. But that COVID year, nobody really wanted to watch sports.
Wow. Hey, yeah. Let me ask you a technical college football question.
Yeah.
What does being redshirted mean? Is that good or is that bad?
Yeah, all that means is that you didn't burn up a year of your eligibility. Right now you've got 5 years to play 4, right? So you can redshirt. Typically it's a freshman that would redshirt, And so they come in. If you play less than 4 games, you're allowed to redshirt that season. So your next year, you're a redshirt freshman. You still got 4 years to play because you played less than 4 years in your freshman year. Now, you can redshirt a different year. Guy gets injured, whatever, his sophomore year, he takes his redshirt then. Let's say he played his freshman year. You could redshirt your sophomore year, your junior year, or whatever. But a redshirt year is a year that doesn't count against your 5 years to play for.
Okay. Because my cousin that got recruited by Joe Paul and went to Penn State got redshirted. And I never quite understood what that meant.
Yeah. Yeah, gray shirt is a guy that comes in mid-year. I mean, there's all kinds of different things. But the red shirt, and typically if you're a great player, they might redshirt, but it doesn't matter because they're going out after their junior year anyway.
Yeah.
Well, it used to be if you played.
He decided he wanted to be a preacher instead, so he quit.
It used to be if you played at all, you would lose a year of eligibility. And the coaches said, "Come on, these kids come in. We'd like to play them in blowouts and things like that. We'd like to get them some time. I got to run a kid out there for a play, and he loses an entire year of eligibility." So they changed the rule about 3 or 4 years ago to where you could play 4 games and still take a red shirt.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right. How
there
about the Cowboys?
How about them Cowboys? Let's get a break. I have heard from Bo Estes, by the way. We'll try and see if he can't pop in hour number 2. Coming up next, though, it's Quiz Grizz. I'll tell you what, be caller number 3 right now. Caller number 3 right now. Play Super Bowl trivia against Grizz. 256-576-4977. Be caller number 3, and you play against Grizz in the inaugural Bubby's Diner Quiz Grizz. It's next on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Now that the weather is finally broken, we can get ready for some better golf weather. Coming up this Friday, our Zone Deal features 2 rounds of golf for the price of 1 at Gunner's Landing.
$1,000 you missed that putt.
Head over to our website, 977ESPN.com. Click on the Zone Deal. Get ready for Friday. 2 rounds of golf for the price of 1 at Gunner's Landing.
Let's go while we're young.
977ESPN.com.
Tom Luganbill here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold-certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
Great food and the best live entertainment is what it's all about at the Furniture Factory Bar and Grill. Head to downtown Huntsville every Tuesday for karaoke on the only outdoor karaoke stage in North Alabama. Thursday night is the Valley's longest running and biggest bike night. Food and drink specials, giveaways, and live music on the patio. And the Furniture Factory menu is fully loaded with options from steaks to salads, plus a whole lot more. Featuring a weekday happy hour that starts at 3. 619 Meridian Street, downtown Huntsville, and online at FurnitureFactoryBarGrill.com.
I'm attorney Gary Lackey. You'll hear people say we're like a family, but here at the Lackey Law Firm, that's really true, not just a saying.
I'm Justin Lackey. With my father and my sister, we have a special connection to each other.
I'm Jennifer Lackey. At the Lackey Law Firm, when we take on your case, you become part of our family. You really do.
And we'll always do whatever it takes to get everything you deserve.
If you're injured, you worry about getting well, not about paperwork or insurance companies or figuring out how to get to your lawyer's office. I'll come to you.
We worry about your case so you don't have to.
When you've been injured, we know that your case is probably the biggest thing going on in your life. More important than almost anything else.
And it's important to us too, for one simple reason. Family takes care of each other, and at the Lackey Law Firm, we'll take care of you.
The Lackey Law Firm. The Lackey Law Family. 1-800-4RIGHTS.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
Gunner's Landing is one of the Tennessee Valley's finest golf experiences. Just 35 minutes from downtown Huntsville, Gunner's Landing's 18-hole championship jewel is open to the public 7 days a week. Located in the foothills of the Appalachian Mountains, Gunner's Landing offers you a golf experience like no other. With beautiful Lake Gunnersville views throughout the round, Gunner's Landing is golf the way nature intended. Gunner's Landing's club repair shop offers a full range of services, including re-gripping and adjusting the lofts and lies of your clubs, even putters. Since the work is done in-house, your clubs will be returned to you in a timely manner. Unmatched in the North Alabama area, it is Gunner's Landing. Schedule your tee time today at gunnerslandinggolf.com. That's gunnerslandinggolf.com.
Rambo Marine in Hazel Green is your one-stop shop for all things boating. Whether you are ready to surf with the newest Malibu wake boat or cruise on a Cobalt or Barletta pontoon, we have a boat ready for you and your family. Rambo Marine provides exceptional service second to none, so that you are ready to hit the water in no time. Stop by Rambo Marine today. We know boats.
If you're ready to lower your utility bills, it's time to call Eagle Insulation. Eagle can handle it all. Attic re-insulation, insulation removal, wall insulation, and new construction insulation, commercial and residential. Our primary goal is to save you money, and lots of it. Typical clients realize their return on investment within 3 to 6 months. That means the re-insulation actually pays for itself and then some. See if we can help you. Contact Eagle Insulation today, 256-755-1556, or log on insulatewitheagle.com.
Champy's Famous Fried Chicken started in Chattanooga, but the history of the fried chicken, hand-rolled Mississippi Delta tamales, and comfort food sides started decades before. Champy's Famous Fried Chicken is made from an old family recipe from down in the Delta, and everything is fresh and homemade, including all of the sides and desserts. Come visit Champy's Famous Fried Chicken. You'll find it's the best fried chicken and hand-rolled tamales you've ever had. On Madison Boulevard in the old Bison's location in the Publix Plaza with 22 taps in the full-service bar and 2 outdoor patios. See ya at Champy's.
A couple of isolated, widely scattered showers are going to be possible through Wednesday afternoon. A mostly cloudy or an overcast sky. Temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 60s, making a solid run at 70 degrees. The best chance for rain is going to move in as we head into Wednesday night and then early into Thursday morning, where we're going to be talking about a fair amount of widespread rain. Could even see a couple of embedded thunderstorms. That activity should be out of here by the time we get to the lunch hour on Thursday. A partly sunny sky through Thursday afternoon. Temperatures climbing into the low 60s. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Online at 977ESPN.com.
Stream them online.
Call in.
It's an important job, and it's an vital organization.
Tweet in and join in. We are 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Welcome back, Thom Abraham Show. This segment of the show is brought to you by Bubby's Diner. Bubby's Diner, where they've got burgers, fries, malts, and more at Bubby's Diner. Why can't I say Bubby's Diner? Why would I say Bubba's? I want to say Bubba's. Bubby's. They do a tremendous job down
Bacon jam.
Bacon jam. Kimmy's Bacon Jam Cheeseburger. It says right on the menu here. I'm holding the menu in front. I'll hold it up for those of you watching on WZZN TV. It says right there, Thom Abraham, the big dog's favorite, Kimmy's Bacon Jam Cheeseburger, which I'll be knocking one of those down on February 24th, the Friday, when I do the show there. But coming up this Friday, the morning show will be down there. All right, so you can go down there and watch Drew DeArmond eat. That'd be enjoyable. That's what Scott Tyson.
He might have two.
We might have 2 of everything. We'll see. Okay, so this segment's brought to you by Bubby's. It is Bubby's Diner Quiz Grizz. Let's get it kicked off right. You know, that I'm talking about right now. All right, we have a contestant. Our contestant is Johnny C. Johnny C., welcome to the show. How are you?
Good. How you doing?
I am fantastic. All right, Johnny. So this is the way this thing works now, all right? For you and our listeners to understand, I am going to flip the magic SEC media guide, all right? I have the SEC. Those of you that are watching WCCN TV, I have the SEC media guide in front of me. On one side, it says SEC football media guides kick off, and on the other side, it just says SECsports.com. The SEC Sports media guides is heads, and SECsports.com is tails. Johnny, you're the contestant, so you will have the opportunity to call heads or tails, and then once we start, whoever starts first will be asked the first question, and then you'll hear the answers. You pick your answer. If you get it right, you get a letter. We're trying to spell an item off of the menu here, and we're going to start with the Bubby, which is grilled glazed donut with beef, bacon, and cheese, something Grizz knows well. The Bubby. All right, so we're trying to spell the word Bubby, so you got to spell B-U-B-B-Y. You get a letter for every correct answer you get. Now, here's the thing. If you miss it, don't blurt out what you think the answer is, because your opponent gets a chance then to steal the question and the letter, and vice versa. Okay, so that's the way this goes. Okay. So, Johnny, pick heads or tails?
Tails.
All right, it's on WZZN TV, so people know that I'm actually flipping the media guide. He picked tails.
I wouldn't trust him.
I did. I flipped the media guide, and it came up heads. All right, so it came up heads. So, Grizz, you get to go first. Right. Now, again, if you don't, and if we have a tie, by the way, if we have a tie, right, because we're going back and forth, and nobody misses a question, then we keep asking questions until we go into sudden death overtime. Not like soccer where we go for 20 minutes. We go until somebody misses a question. Okay, so that's the way that works. All right, but I don't think there'll be a tie, because I don't think that you guys are gonna get these questions right. I get them all right, but maybe you will. We'll see on how you do it this now. All right, here we go. Grizz.
Yes.
Who scored the first points in Super Bowl history? Who scored the first points in Super Bowl I, which is the first points in Super Bowl history? Was it Max McGee, Curtis McClinton, John Taylor, or Boyd Dowler?
C. John Taylor.
John Taylor. Wait a minute. Where'd my audience go? John Taylor is incorrect. All right. So right off the bat, Johnny C., you got a point, an opportunity to steal the first letter here. Who scored the first points in Super Bowl I? Was it
alive?
Max McGee, Curtis McClinton, or Boyd Dowler?
B.
You're just going B. You didn't even want to say a name. B.
Max
Curtis.
Because we forgot the name.
Say it again.
Max McGee.
Max McGee is correct. All right. So, yes, Max McGee was A, actually, but Max McGee. So, all right. So you got a B, and it's your question now. So you could get off to a commanding lead here, right off the bat, a commanding lead. All right. Here's your question, Johnny. Which AFL team was the first to win the Super Bowl? Was it the New York Jets, the Oakland Raiders, the Kansas City Chiefs, or the Houston Oilers?
Say it again one more time. Ask the question one more time.
The first AFL team to win the Super Bowl, the Jets, Raiders, Chiefs, or Oilers?
Jets.
The Jets.
Yes!
So you now have the B and the U. So, Grizz, now you got to get back into this thing.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
All right, Super Bowl history we're talking about here. Grizz, who was the first team to go to 3 straight Super Bowls? The first team to go to 3 straight Super Bowls, win or lose, go to 3 straight Super Bowls. Okay. Was it the Dolphins, the Cowboys, the Vikings, or the Packers?
Oof. Vikings?
I'm sorry.
No.
I got that all wrong.
Yeah. Got that all wrong. All right. All right, here you go. Johnny C., here you go for the steal. All right, Johnny C. for the steal. Johnny, who was the first team to go to 3 Super Bowls in a row? Was it the Dolphins, Cowboys, or Packers?
Packers.
He says Packers. Knucklehead. It was the Miami Dolphins. They lost their first one, and then they went back and they won 2 in a row after losing their first one, which they lost to the Cowboys, and then they beat Then they won 2 in a row. All right. All right. So Johnny, who's up? Johnny is up, right? This is Johnny's question. Johnny, Fran Tarkenton of the Minnesota Vikings was sacked for the first Super Bowl safety ever in Super Bowl IX. Who sacked Fran Tarkenton for the first safety ever in Super Bowl history? Was it Joe Green, Mike Wagner, Jack Lambert, or Dwight White?
Mike Lambert.
Well, it would be actually Jack Lambert, but
pathetic performance.
No, that's wrong. That's wrong. Okay. All right, so Grizz for the steal.
Yeah.
The first the first safety in Super Bowl history.
Safety, okay.
First safety in Super Bowl history, Minnesota Vikings. It was Fran Tarkenton of the Vikings was sacked. Who was the Pittsburgh Steeler that sacked him? Was it Joe Green, Mike Wagner, or Dwight White?
Joe Green.
No.
You can see we'll be getting into a second quiz here to get this one here. No, it was Dwight White was the one that did that. It was Dwight White. Okay, Grizz, this is your question.
Yeah.
All right, right now, Johnny C has the B and the U. Grizz has nothing. All right, we're trying to spell Bubby. See who can win the Bubby's Diner. First and maybe last, Bubby's Diner.
Should have made it shorter.
I should have spelled pie or something like that with just the P and the I. All right, here you go, Grizz. These are really easy. I picked a test that I got all 10 right on. So just so you know. And so these are easy. I know they're
You were alive
older.
during all this.
Well, yeah, but it's just part of the deal. I mean, you got to know your history. All right, you weren't alive during history, and you know about the World War II and World War I and all that stuff. You weren't alive for that either.
It's
all right, here we go.
Knowledge.
Who was the running back for the Raiders who had the 74-yard touchdown run against the Redskins? All right, this is a famous play now. This was Super Bowl 18. Who had the 74-yard touchdown run for the Raiders against the Redskins? Was it Kenny King, John Riggins, Marcus Allen, or Eric Dickerson?
You're asking me or him?
No, this is you. Chris.
I'm so sorry. Marcus Allen.
Oh my goodness!
Thank goodness.
All right, so we got the B. All right, so we got that one. All right, Johnny, your question. The Chicago Bears defeated the New England Patriots 46-10 in Super Bowl 20. Walter Payton had 61 yards rushing. How many touchdowns did Payton have in that Super Bowl? 4, 2, 0, or 1?
1.
You blew it! All right, Grizz, for the steal. The Bears defeat the New England Patriots 46-10. Peyton has 61 yards rushing. How many touchdowns did he have? 4, 2, or 0?
2.
I don't even know where to go with this. This is the famous Super Bowl where the fridge, William Perry, he got a carry on the 1-yard line and scored a touchdown, and everybody felt bad. And Peyton was very upset because he did not score. His only Super Bowl ever, he did not score in that Super Bowl. Okay, all right, so that was a steal attempt. All right, so Grizz, this is your – don't talk to nobody. You got to focus here.
No, he's not helping me. I'm just –
No, I'm just saying don't let him distract you. Tell John to shut up. All right, here you go. Grizz, in Super Bowl 22, the Redskins beat the Denver Broncos 42-10. Who was the quarterback for the Redskins? It was also the MVP of that Super Bowl. Was it Billy Kilmer, Joe Theismann, Doug Williams, or Mark Rippon when they beat the Broncos 42-10?
Doug Williams.
All right, there you go. It's correct.
I knew that one.
You got that one right. So you got the B and the U. All right. Here we go. Johnny. I thought this would go so fast. I thought these were easy. All right, Johnny. Joe Montana threw for 297 yards and 5 touchdowns in his last Super Bowl, which was Super Bowl 24. Who did the 49ers beat that year? Did he beat the Bills, the Bengals, the Chargers, or the Broncos?
Broncos.
The Broncos is... Yes! Good job by you.
I remember that game.
Yeah, there you go. See, now we're remembering games. All right, Grizz. The Green Bay Packers beat the New England Patriots 35-21, Super Bowl 31. Who was the MVP of that Super Bowl? Was it Desmond Howard, Reggie White, Brett Favre, or Andre Rison?
Desmond Howard.
Desmond Howard is correct.
Yeah, I knew that. Yeah, I actually heard that a couple days ago, actually.
All right, good job by you. All right, so you got one of these in here. That's good. So we both have the BU and the B. All right, Johnny, the Patriots beat the St. Louis Rams 20-17 in Super Bowl 36 on a field goal with time running out. Who kicked the winning field goal for the Patriots? Richard Simmons, Jeff Wilkins, Adam Vinatieri, or Gary Anderson?
Vinatieri.
Yes! We're rolling now. All right, Johnny C is he's on the brink right now. He's on the brink, but Grizz is trying to hang with him here and see if he can kind of hold off elimination here. We'll see whether or not Grizz can do that or not. All right, let's see here. Let's switch to another test. Okay. Super Bowl I, Grizz. AFL, NFL, 1967. The Green Bay Packers win by 25 points. Who did they beat?
Chiefs.
The Chiefs, he says, and he is absolutely. You know what? I got a lot more.
He may be the smartest person that I've ever met.
Maybe. He may be. Maybe. All right, here we go. For the win now. Johnny C has a BUBB. Both of you have the BUBB. For the win now. All right? Only once, Johnny C, only once in the 20th century did a Super Bowl team fail to score a touchdown. Who was that team? The Bills, the Dolphins, the Patriots, or the Vikings? The only time a team failed to score a touchdown in the Super Bowl.
Bills.
The Bills, he said.
You blew it!
All right. Grizz, for the steal and the win, only once has a team failed to score a touchdown in a Super Bowl. Who was that team? The Dolphins, the Patriots, or the Vikings?
The Vikings.
The Vikings.
You blew it!
What? You blew it, too!
Oh. I know what it is.
All right, now, Grizz, that was a steal attempt, so you now have another chance.
I know what it is.
Right? Yep. You have another chance. Oh, by the way, yeah, that's right. It's the Miami Dolphins.
Yep.
They were beaten 24-3. Remember? Well, no,
yep.
I say remember. Oh. You don't know.
I knew.
You don't. I mean, you might remember, but you don't remember. All right. Grizz, here we go. Yep. Third time is the charm. John Elway thought so in the days leading up to Super Bowl 24. Already 0-2 in the big game. He found himself there again. This time, Denver was paired up with quite possibly the best team ever put together. Who was that team? The Giants, the Redskins, the Cowboys, or the 49ers? Possibly the greatest team ever. All right, so John Elway, his third Super Bowl. Yeah. He was 0-2.
Yeah.
In his third Super Bowl, he was paired up against what is quite possibly the greatest team ever assembled. Was it the Giants, the Redskins, the Cowboys, or the 49ers?
The Cowboys.
The Cowboys, he says. All right. Johnny C, for the win. John Elway's third Super Bowl. He was already 0-2. He was paired up against possibly the best team ever assembled. Was it the Giants, Redskins, or 49ers?
49ers.
Congrats.
So Johnny C comes away with the big win. Grizz, you had every opportunity. I mean, you really
just like the Falcons, 28-3.
You had every opportunity. Man, it was on the doorstep with the Dolphins. You had to steal.
I did have the Dolphins too, and I said the Vikings twice. That's terrible.
You said the Vikings. Oh God! All right. So, do you have Johnny C's information? By the way, did you get his information when he called?
No.
In? All right. So Johnny C, we're going to hang up on you because apparently we can't put you back on hold. So we're going to hang up on you. Call us right back, Johnny, and give Grizz your information, and we're going to get you hooked up with a Bubby's Diner $25 gift certificate for winning this episode of Bubby's Diner Quiz Grizz. Good job, Johnny.
All right, thank you.
All right, we'll get a break. We'll come back. Afterglow next, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Here's Bobby White from Woody Anderson Ford on their service department.
President's Award winner 2 years in a row. That's only given to the top 10% of Ford dealers in customer satisfaction. So we're very proud of the service department. And our body shop. If you happen to get into an accident, which not a lot of people just want to go down and see a body shop, but if you get into an accident, award-winning body shop. We have state-of-the-art paint booths back there. They're waterborne paints that we use, friendly for the environment. We've got our production system, the way things are in and out. We have the fastest cycle rate in town of getting your vehicle in, getting your vehicle out, and assured that it's fixed right. We take pictures before it's wrecked, and not only after, but we take it as we're putting the parts on. All done to above industry standards. So I'm proud of our body shop too. Don't forget our parts department. So if you don't happen to need parts, performance parts, or just parts if you're a weekend mechanic.
Woody Anderson Ford, located at the corner of Jordan and Sparkman, as well as Hughes Road and Madison. You can also check out the great deals at WoodyAndersonFord.com.
Progressive presents Adjusting to the Suburbs. You just bought a home in the suburbs, but no one told you about all the birds, specifically this one, who seems to be calling out Roy. Roy. But who exactly is Roy? And why doesn't he ever respond? Maybe Roy is just bird speak for save with Progressive by bundling your home and auto. I guess until Roy answers, we'll never know. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company. Coverage provided in service by affiliates and third-party insurers.
The kitchen is the heart of any home. It's where the family gathers. It's where kids discover old recipes and make them their own. Just starting out or just now getting started on the dream kitchen you've always wanted?
I'm Chris Haygood, and from all of us here at Bob Wallace Appliance to the home builders and the homeowners of the Huntsville area, a heartfelt thank you for buying local. We're in Huntsville, Florence, and Coleman, and online at bobwallaceappliance.com.
Greeny with Mike Greenberg.
This is Mike Greenberg. You're listening to 97.7 ESPN The Zone, your home of ESPN Radio, the Alabama Crimson Tide, Atlanta Braves baseball, Huntsville Havoc hockey, and the UAH Chargers.
I'm looking at the menu, Grizz, for what I want to use next week, because I'm pretty sure I don't want to say Kimmy's Bacon Jam Cheeseburger. It would take the entire show and more questions than I possibly even had the internet has. All right, so that would be too many. I'm trying to look for something that I could get to. Hot dog. Maybe I just spelled dog, right? We could do dog for hot dog. Something like that. We will not do the pimento cheese sandwich. That would take too long. Man. Corn dog. We could do corn. They must have pie.
WG.
I'm sure they have. Yeah, we'll have to do something like that. Mac and cheese. We just do the mac, though.
We just got to get better about our trivia, man. We both are on the spot. John was feeling the heat. I was feeling the heat.
It's hard when you're on the spot. It really is. Because there's all these people are listening at home or driving around in their cars like, oh, my God, how can you not know that? They're all yelling at the thing. How did you not know that? David Moulton is next right here on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
I always wanted to learn Spanish, but I never thought I'd have the time. Then I discovered Babbel.
Babbel's lessons are fun. They only take like 10 or 15 minutes, and in 3 weeks, presto, you're starting to speak another language, like magic.
I love that Babbel's lessons aren't just robots talking. They're voiced by native speakers, so you get the pronunciation just right.
If you want to learn a language, there's no faster, easier, better way than
Babbel.
Babbel.
Babbel. Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's BABBEL.com. Babbel.com.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. The NBA's all-time scoring record now belongs to LeBron James. The Lakers superstar passed Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and set the mark with a 14-foot jump shot late in the third quarter against the Thunder. Abdul-Jabbar's record had stood for nearly 4 decades. In addition to owning the scoring record, the 38-year-old James is also 4th all-time in assists and 9th in steals. A couple of days after his trade from Brooklyn, guard Kyrie Irving will make his Dallas debut against the Clippers tonight, 10 Eastern ESPN TV. Dallas point guard Luka Doncic out a third straight game with a left heel contusion, but he'll be in LA to watch the game from the bench. NFL Raiders quarterback Derek Carr visiting with the Saints today. It's Carr's first known visit ahead of Vegas's February 15th trigger date on his contract, by which $40 million of his salary becomes guaranteed.
WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Check out VSiN's catalog of original podcasts, daily and weekly programming to keep you in the know when you're on the go. Only at VSIN.com. Now, here are the latest lines from my guys in the desert.
One of the storylines heading into this year's Super Bowl, it's brother versus brother. Travis Kelce of the Chiefs, Jason Kelce of the Eagles. Who's the family rooting for? Travis said,
"It doesn't sound like they have any dilemma at hand right now. I think my brother said it yesterday, and it doesn't matter how much I go against the guy, man. I'm always cheering for him just for a little bit. It's just the nature of the beast, man. I got a lot of love for that guy, and I want him to win every single game except for this one.
Philadelphia favored by 2, Kansas City plus 110 on the money line. Both teams are 16-3. The Chiefs are 7-11-1 against the spread.
SportsMed is the official team physicians of the Rocket City Trash Pandas. And if the pros trust SportsMed, you can too. SportsMed provides every service you might need for complete orthopedic care, specializing in orthopedic surgery, sports medicine, joint replacement, spine surgery, neurosurgery, and podiatry. And they offer their own brace shop, in-house full-body MRI, physical therapy, walk-in clinic, and so much more. 4 locations and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com.
Thom Abraham here for my friend Brian Hamaker and his team at North Alabama Mortgage. Look, buying a home is the biggest purchase you will make in your life, and it can be a bit intimidating, so you want people that can help walk you through the mortgage process and get you the best deal possible. That's what North Alabama Mortgage does, and they do it in Alabama, Tennessee, and Florida, from first-time purchases to refis, conventional, VA, FHA, and USDA loans. They have the solution at North Alabama Mortgage. Visit NorthAlabamaMortgage.com to learn more. That's NorthAlabamaMortgage.com.
A couple of isolated, widely scattered showers are going to be possible through Wednesday afternoon. A mostly cloudy or an overcast sky. Temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 60s, making a solid run at 70 degrees. The best chance for rain is going to move in as we head into Wednesday night and then early into Thursday morning, where we're going to be talking about a fair amount of widespread rain. Could even see a couple of embedded thunderstorms. That activity should be out of here by the time we get to the lunch hour on Thursday. A partly sunny sky through Thursday afternoon. Temperatures climbing into the low 60s. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
From the Alabama Crimson Tide to the Atlanta Braves, we are 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You need to be more like a dog. Like what you guys are doing. You've got your fingertip on the pulse of your listeners. You guys know what they're talking about. Be a dog. God bless the show. You are the Messiah. We need more dogs. This is the best show on radio.
The big dog, Thom Abraham, is here with you.
Hey, I see you. I see you, dog.
So settle in and get your bark on.
That's my dog.
Now live. Here he is, the big dog.
Let's go, baby!
Thom Abraham.
How you doing? 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 Look, I don't speak Spanish.
I don't know how to say this, so I'm going to choose my words very carefully. I think you're a psycho.
Do you know who I am?
I mean, that guy sounds like El McPherson farting into Miles Davis' trumpet.
I guess I'm on here. Am I on? Can somebody respond? Get off my
Have to drag my Yankee ass out of here.
Welcome back, hour number 2 of the Thom Abraham Show. Grizz, what was the easiest question you think you missed there? Of all of them, what do you think?
One for sure.
The Dolphins one? Yeah, you mean the never scoring a touchdown in the Super Bowl?
Yeah, because I got it mixed up with another one. Yeah.
You think that's easy? This is a true story now. This had to be 20 years ago, where we had a sports trivia contest at a bar or at a restaurant or at a bowling hall someplace in Fort Myers, and my young producer, Damon Amendolara, was challenging me in sports trivia, which I told him at the time. And at the time, I was like 40, and I told him, look, I forgot more about sports than you know, and he was a smart guy, so he wanted to go. And so David Moulton was the umpire. He was the moderator. He was the question asking person. So anyway, I win the thing, and Damon was a soccer guy. Damon loves soccer, was a soccer fan and everything else, right? I beat him. It was a soccer question. Get this. I mean, you couldn't have an easier question. He was asked, the question was how many, I'll never forget it. The question was how many players are on the field during a soccer game, per team. How many players per side during a soccer game? What's the answer?
22.
No, per side. Per team.
11.
Each team. 11.
Yeah, 11.
I know you're looking quizzical because you're like, what's the trick? Damon said 10, and he was tripped up because he was thinking of the goalie. He thought of it like 10 on the field, and then the goalie, like field player, skaters versus the goalie. That's a true story. And I beat him, and we joke about it to this day. And Moulton was the moderator in that. So if you feel stupid for losing that Quiz Grizz contest, that's the first time in 10 years I've done sports trivia on the air, and I may not do it for another 10 years.
I just lost it in Falcons fashion, so it should never come back.
God, that's awful. All right, joining us now, the aforementioned David Moulton from the Monday Night Football crew on ESPN and also from the SEC on CBS. He joins us on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline, and he remembers that moment as well. David, welcome in. How are you?
I'm good, Tom. I must admit, it scares the heck out of me to do trivia on the radio because, usually you have to look up the answers and you've got these guides, but every now and then they're not 100% up to date. They're like a year or 2 years old, and you don't want to do a trivia contest and have somebody have the right answer and you go, no, that's wrong.
Right. If it's a dated test. I have one source that I use for these quizzes and they're multiple choice. It makes it a little easier for the contestants. I haven't done it in years on the air, and last week we're joking around about Quiz Grizz, and so we started it this week. We got a sponsor for it, of course. We got a sponsor for it, Bubby's Diner, and we did Quiz Grizz where one listener went against Grizz, and we did Super Bowl trivia this time, and here was the question that he lost on, and he had it right in his hands. He had it won. And the question was, who's the only team to not score a touchdown in a Super Bowl? That didn't score a touchdown in a Super Bowl. And, of course, you would know that answer. You would know all 13 of these you would have gotten without multiple choice. But who is the only team, David, to not score a touchdown in the Super Bowl? It was in the Super Bowl.
Well, the Dolphins lost Super Bowl VI. I think they 24-3.
24-3. There you go. It was the Dolphins, the only team that now you could say offensively. If you said to score an offensive touchdown, the closest
there's been a few. The Redskins in Super Bowl VII didn't score an offensive touchdown. The Vikings, when they lost 16-6 to the Steelers, didn't score an offensive touchdown. The Giants, when they lost to the Ravens, had a kickoff return, and they only scored 7 points. So there's been quite a few to not score an offensive touchdown.
So here was the toughest question. Let's see if David would get it right. David's good at this stuff. Let's see if he can get it right. Here was the toughest question of the 13 that I asked these two contestants. Fran Tarkington was sacked in the end zone for the first safety in Super Bowl history by the Pittsburgh Steelers. And the question was, who sacked him? And it was Jack Lambert, Mike Wagner, Mean Joe Green, or Dwight White. So who sacked him?
Dwight White.
It was Dwight White. You see what I'm saying about this guy?
Oh, my goodness.
See? He would have gotten them all. I wouldn't even have to give him multiple choice. In the open of the show an hour ago, when I was mentioning that you were going to be on, I said I didn't know how many Super Bowls you worked. How many Super Bowls did you work for Fox?
Unfortunately, I only got the one. I got Chiefs-Niners. And obviously, we were lined up to do 2 of the next 3. So, hopefully I don't lose my gig in 4 years from now when ABC gets their first Super Bowl in, over 20 years, that I'll be part of the crew that does that Super Bowl.
So you had which one did you have? Chiefs Niners?
Yes, in Miami. And that's the other thing, I'm living in Florida 2 hours away. Listen, like I should be complaining about this. Like, who wouldn't want to work a Super Bowl and be in the booth? But, it is funny. I drove to the game.
Yeah, sure. That's fantastic. Now, is that because I know that you've worked for the SEC and CBS for many more years than Fox? Is it because of you haven't worked as many years for Fox, or is it because okay? So it wasn't like they said, okay, we can't we got to cut the crew down or anything like that. It just happened to be there was only one once you started. So you've been working for Fox. You were working for Troy for what, 5-6 years now? 7 years?
5 years with Troy, 4 with Fox, and last year with Monday Night Football.
Is it by far the biggest event that you'd ever been